Hey guys, and welcome to another Evercade Deep Dive Completion Review. This is where I need to complete an Evercade game from start to finish. It doesn't matter how many load states I use, and it certainly doesn't matter how many save states, just as long as I can complete the game before I do this review. And what little game are we looking at today? Well, today we are looking at Touch and Go from the Gayalco Arcade 2 Collections, Purple Cart, number 6. Let's spike this out of the park. Welcome to Touch and Go, the volleyball game where the pace is fast, the rallies are wild, and the ball spends more time in the air than my dreams of going to the gym. This isn't your casual beach day where you sip lemonade and watch the waves. Oh no, here the sand is hot, the serves are hotter, and the action is so quick you'll wonder if your controller just had a triple espresso. You'll leap for smashes that could break the sound barrier, dive for saves that would make Baywatch jealous, and every now and then miss the ball so spectacularly, it should count as modern art. The name in the title says it all. Touch and go. One moment you're on top of the world, the next the ball's touching down on your side of the court faster than my hopes of getting a six-pack. Unless we're talking about the six-pack from my fridge. So grab your virtual sunscreen, warm up those reflexes, and get ready for high-flying, fast-spiking, occasionally face-planting volleyball mayhem. This is Touch and Go, and trust me, the go part comes way sooner than you think. As always, I'll be looking at the story, the sound, and the gameplay, and a little later on, I'll be letting you guys know my Evercade stats on Touch and Go. But before we do any of that, as always, let's look at some interesting facts about the game and its developer. Touch and Go isn't your slow beachside past the sunscreen kind of volleyball. Nope, this 1995 arcade gem from Spanish developers Gayalco is a fast, chaotic one-button spike fest that feels like you're playing volleyball after chugging 3 cans of energy drink and a mystery-flavoured soda. It's loud, it's colourful, and wastes no time throwing you into matches where quick reflexes matter way more than actual volleyball skills. Forget finesse, this is about raw, sweaty arcade action with a neon-lit twist. The controls, brilliantly simple. Just a joystick, a single button. But don't let that fool you. With perfect timing and joystick direction, you can pass, set, spike, block, dive, and even fake out opponents like a pro.
Then you've got to learn the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
It's a classic arcade balancing act. Easy to pick up, but with a surprising depth that rewards those who master the timing and joystick combos with flashy, jaw-dropping moves. New players can jump right in and have fun, while the veterans can show off their skill with insane spikes and clutch blocks that feel oh so satisfying. This is pure pick-up-and-play arcade magic, exactly what defined the golden age of 90s gaming. And fun fact, back in the mid-90s, volleyball games were about as rare as a dinosaur at a disco. Seriously, while soccer, basketball, and wrestling games were flooding arcades and consoles, volleyball was mostly chilling in the background, forgotten, and underappreciated. That's why Touch and Go was such a breath of fresh air, a wild, fast-paced spike fest in the sea of sports games that mostly forgot about the humble volleyball. So if you have ever felt that volleyball deserved more love, Touch and Go was the arcade's way of throwing its hands up and shouting, "Hey, we got this." One of Touch and Go's absolute coolest features is the multiplayer. You can team up for classic 2-on-2 matches, but here's the real kicker. The developers wired the game so that 2 arcade cabinets could link up, letting 4 players compete on a single court. Now, this wasn't just a flashy gimmick to grab attention, it was a serious tech flex for the mid-90s. Imagine 2 arcade machines across the room high-fiving each other and perfectly syncing your volleyball showdown in real time. That's right, Gayalco made it so 2 separate cabinets could chat with each other. So you and 3 friends could duke it out on the same court, no awkward split screen, no lag, just pure uninterrupted volleyball chaos. This linking technology was cutting-edge stuff back in the day. Most arcade games were standalone islands. You plugged it in, you played solo, or maybe with a buddy on the same machine, but Touch and Go transformed arcades into buzzing social hubs where spontaneous volleyball tournaments could explode at any moment. Rivalries flared, laughter erupted, and high fives flew as players battled it out in joystick spinning, button mashing madness. The tech wizardry behind this feature ensured everything stayed smooth, with no glitches, no frustrating delays, and just non-stop adrenaline pumping gameplay that made every match feel like a high-stakes showdown. Matches themselves were fast and tense, kicking off an intense 11-11 score with the goal of hitting 15 points and winning by 2. This design kept rounds short and sharp, perfect for an arcade setting where no one wanted to wait forever for their turn. Just quick, exciting bursts of action that kept the quarters flowing. The serving mechanic adds an extra layer of strategy, letting you pick serve direction, power being high or low, and whether to sprint or stay put. Of course, mastering the perfect serve takes practice and you'll probably botch your fair share, as I did, but those missed serves only add to the fun, and the trash talk, and the friendly rivalries that make arcade multiplayer so memorable. Visually, Touch and Go packs a serious punch with its bright, colourful sprites and exaggerated character animations. Released during Gaelco's golden age of arcade sports games, Touch and Go sits proudly alongside hits like World Rally Championship and Glass, showcasing their knack for delivering fun, accessible, and fiercely competitive games that never took themselves too seriously, but always delivered the goods. While Touch and Go may not be a household name outside of hardcore arcade circles, its frantic gameplay, multiplayer innovation, and pure arcade charm have earned it a special place in retro gaming history. Whether you're a die-hard volleyball fan or just someone who loves a fast-paced sports challenge, it's an absolute blast to play, and a nostalgic reminder of a time when gaming was all about button mashing, friendly trash talk, and those unforgettable oh yes moments that kept you coming back for more. Let's take a look at the story. Oh, you want the story of Touch and Go? Well, buckle up because the plot is about as deep as a kiddie pool, and honestly, that's exactly the point. So here it is. Touch and Go is a volleyball game. Like seriously, that's it. There's no epic saga, no missing princesses, and no alien invasions, and definitely no secret volleyball prophecy. Just two teams, a net, and a ball that absolutely refuses to stay put. Your story is basically get out here, hit the ball, and don't let it touch the ground. It's like the ultimate test of hand-eye coordination and reflexes with maybe a little bit of sweat and panic thrown in. Forget saving the world, you're just trying not to look like a total noob while spiking like you mean it. And here's the little twist. You can pick from 8 international teams, each with their own unique look and style. A small but fun nod to the Olympic spirit. So you could rep your favourite country, spike with pride, and maybe even trash talk in 8 different languages, or just grunt aggressively, which is honestly just as effective. Now, if you're expecting fancy volleyball rules, forget it. This game is pure arcade chaos. No complicated footwork penalties, no boring let's stop the game for a review moment. It's volleyball with all the dull bits removed. Like someone hit the turbo button on the sport itself. Just non-stop spiking, diving, and smashing with zero time for anything but pure button mashing madness. The characters, oh, they're pumped up, wild, and ready to dive headfirst into the sand without a second thought. Their motivation? Winning? Fame maybe? Glory? Nah, just bragging rights and the eternal satisfaction of shouting, I totally crushed that spike. The villains are your opponents, equally crazy and determined to send that ball flying back in your face. It's a battle of wills, reflexes, and probably a bit of trash talk shouted over the roaring crowd of pixelated fans. So yeah, the story of Touch and Go is basically volleyball happens, let's go to it. It's pure, simple, sweaty button mashing fun because sometimes you don't need a story to have a blast. Sometimes you just need a volleyball and the drive to spike it like there's no tomorrow. Let's talk about the sound of touch and go, because in an arcade game this wild, the noise is half the party. The music kicks in like it's powered by pure adrenaline and a questionable amount of caffeine. It's fast-paced, punchy and bouncy. Think energetic tunes that sound like they were composed by a DJ who just discovered volleyball and can't stop dancing about it. The soundtrack doesn't try to be subtle. Nope, it's loud, in your face and totally unapologetic, just like the game itself. It's the kind of music that makes you want to spike the ball even harder, or maybe just jump around like a caffeinated cartoon character. Perfect for those moments where you've been button mashing so hard your fingers are vibrating and you just need the tunes to keep you going. The sound effects are pure arcade gold. Every spike, block and dive comes with a satisfying sound effect that hits your ears like a volleyball right in the face. The cheers from the pixelated crowd are enthusiastic if a little robotic, which only adds to the charm, and the grunts, oh yeah, the grunts are where it's at. They range from I'm seriously into this to oops, I missed again. And they make the whole experience feel like a high-energy volleyball soap opera. Plus the game throws in some goofy voice clips that sound like they were recorded right after some sugar rush. You get serious shouts and yells that perfectly match the chaos on screen, making you feel like you're not just playing volleyball, but starring in the world's zaniest sports anime. So yeah, the sound design in Touch and Go is exactly what you want. It's loud, it's goofy, and it's packed with energy. It's the perfect soundtrack to your frantic button-mashing volleyball battles, guaranteed to get stuck in your head long after you've left the arcade. And once again, this was crafted by the talented composer behind Gaoko's distinctive arcade soundtracks, Joan Sanamati. Known for crafting energetic, catchy tunes that perfectly match the fast-paced action of games like Touch and Go, his music helped bring these arcade experiences to life. I have already reviewed some of Joan Sanamati's other games like World Rally Championships, and he's always delivering soundtracks that get players pumped up and glued to the joystick. His work remains a memorable part of the classic arcade era's vibrant soundscape.
Touch and Go. Second set.
Let's take a look at the gameplay. Alright, let's dive into the gameplay of Touch and Go, and trust me, it's as simple as it is wildly fun. You're basically caught in a whirlwind of volleyball madness where the rules take a backseat to pure arcade chaos. The goal? Score 15 points and win by 2, because nothing says intense volleyball showdown like the classic arcade beat your opponent by a hair rule. It's the sports equivalent of just one more game, but also please don't let me lose in front of my friends. Now, the serving system adds a spicy twist to keep you on your toes. You don't just lob the ball and hope for the best, oh no. You get to choose the serve's direction, power, and whether to sprint or stay put, which sounds simple, but trust me, it's like juggling flaming clubs while riding a unicycle. Pulling off that perfect serve feels like winning the lottery, but mess it all up and, well, get ready to hear your friends roast you mercilessly. The best part, the serve constantly switches between teams, so you're always scrambling to adjust your strategy and react to your opponent's curveballs, literally. On the court, it's all about timing, reflexes, and that sweet spot where chaos meets skill. You'll pass, set, spike, block, and dive like your life depends on it, because in this game, it kinda does. Miss a spike and you might as well just kiss those points goodbye and nail it, and you're the hero of the arcade. The game's simple control scheme, just a joystick and one button, means anyone can just jump in and start flailing wildly. But mastering the timing and the joystick combos lets you pull off slick plays that will have your friends wondering if you've secretly trained with professional volleyball players. Spoiler alert, you probably didn't. In short, Touch and Go's gameplay is the perfect blend of easy to learn and hard to master, wrapped in a wild, fast-paced volleyball brawl where winning by 2 points feels like climbing Everest. Serving is an art form, and every match ends with sweaty palms and big laughs. Now, I paid $30.05 for this game, but we can't say that I paid that because this has 6 games on it. So for the purpose of this review, we need to say that I spent $5, meaning for me to complete and get my $10 per hour equivalent ratio, I'll need to play this game for longer than 30 minutes. And I can successfully say I achieved that playing the game for 1 hour and 4 minutes and having an equivalent of $4.69 per hour, which is a big bargain in my books. I had a play count of 2, a load count of 48, and a save count of 19. Alright, beach bums, now it's time for my review of Touch and Go. Let's just dive into it. So I'd rate the story of Touch and Go a load 2 out of 10 because this is a sports game, folks, and sports games don't normally come with sprawling epics or dramatic plot twists. The story here is basically the goal is to win, and that's about it. No princesses to rescue, no villains to defeat, just good old-fashioned volleyball smackdowns. If you're expecting any kind of story here, you might be barking up the wrong tree. Instead, picture a tiny volleyball court where the only thing that matters is can you spike that out of the park and outdive your opponent. The story here is so minimal it could fit on a cocktail napkin, and honestly, that's kind of part of its charm. Maybe the whole thing is just to have fun actively before the real story starts. Like the classic Top Gun volleyball scene where Maverick and the gang blow off steam before taking to the skies. You know, a little friendly competition to get that adrenaline pumping before the big mission. So maybe Touch and Go is just that, your pixelated prelude to glory. There's no backstory explaining why these pixelated athletes are so pumped or what's at stake behind bragging rights and the eternal glory of shouting, "I'm the best." The characters don't have complicated motives or secret pasts, they just want to hit that ball harder than the other team. So yeah, the plot's pretty thin, but hey, in Touch and Go, the real story unfolds in the fast-paced, button-mashing action. Sometimes you don't need a Shakespearean drama when your joystick and reflexes are already working overtime. In other words, the story's simple, the goal's clear, and the real fun, winning the match and watching your friends eat your pixelated sand. So I'd rate the sound in Touch and Go a solid 7 out of 10, and that's pretty impressive for a mid-90s arcade game. First off, the sound clips are surprisingly crisp and well produced. Every spike, block and dive lands with a satisfying sound that instantly pulls you into the action. And the sound of the volleyball itself is especially cool. It's sharp and punchy, almost like the ball has its own personality, begging you to keep smashing it back and forth. The voice clips add a fun layer too, with goofy shouts and grunts that perfectly capture the chaotic, adrenaline-fueled vibe of the game. They feel lively and well-timed, making each play feel more dynamic and entertaining. It's like the players are as hyped up as you are. And now for the music. Oh man, that music, it's fast, catchy, and totally pumps you up like you're gearing up for the championship match. The tunes are energetic without being overwhelming, combining bright, upbeat melodies with that classic arcade bounce. It's exactly the kind of soundtrack that makes you want to jump up and down while clutching your joystick like it's a volleyball. What's really smart is how the music isn't just blasting all the time either. During the in-play moments, the soundtrack pauses or quiets down just enough to let you zero in on the gameplay without distraction. That way, you get the best of both worlds, hype music to keep your adrenaline pumping, but silence when you need laser focus on that perfect serve or game-saving block. Overall, the sound design in Touch and Go does an excellent job of complementing the fast-paced, chaotic gameplay. It's loud and lively when it needs to be, but also smartly balanced so you don't miss a single beat of the volleyball madness. It's a neat little package of audio that's both nostalgic and genuinely enjoyable. Definitely a step up above what you might expect from an arcade game of its time. So, for the gameplay, I'd rate Touch and Go a 6 out of 10. It's fast, fun, and surprisingly engaging, especially considering it's a one-button sports game, which is no small feat. You might think that limiting the controls would make the gameplay shallow, but Touch and Go proves that sometimes simplicity packs a serious punch. The core of the game revolves around quick reflexes and timing, especially when it comes to serving and spiking. Serving isn't just a boring toss-in, you get to control the direction, power, and whether your player dashes forward or stays put. Nail your serve just right and you can catch your opponents totally off guard, setting up for the perfect opportunity to dominate the rally. And then there's that super spike, the ultimate volleyball mic drop. With the right timing and joystick movement, you can unleash a spike that's faster, stronger, and harder to block. Pulling off a super spike feels like winning the lottery in volleyball terms. It's a rush that rewards skill and timing, and it can totally turn the tide of a match. Nothing quite beats the satisfaction of seeing your pixelated player slam the ball down with style, leaving your opponents scrambling. The pace of the gameplay keeps you on your toes from start to finish. Matches are quick and intense, perfect for arcade action where you want bursts of excitement without long downtime waits. The one-button setup means anyone can jump in and have fun, but mastering those subtle nuances like perfect serves and timing your super spikes adds a depth that keeps you coming back for more. I mostly played the single-player mode, and honestly, it held my attention well enough on its own. I didn't get to experience the multiplayer chaos, but I can only imagine how much more electric the game must be when you're playing with a couple of mates. The trash talk, the frantic button mashing, the epic rivalries, and I'm pretty sure the gameplay score would have shot up if I was battling friends across linked arcade cabinets, trading high fives and smack talking in real time. Sure, it's not the deepest of sports sims out there and it lacks some polish compared to bigger titles, but Touch and Go captures the classic arcade magic, simple to pick up, hard to master, and always a blast to play. For a one-button sports game, it hits the sweet spot between accessibility and engaging gameplay, making it a memorable experience for both casual players and arcade veterans alike. Overall, I'd give Touch and Go a 5 out of 10. Now, full confession, folks, I'm about as into sports game as a cat that's into swimming. Like, I'd rather watch paint dry than figure out complicated button combos to score points, but somehow Touch and Go managed to grab my attention and keep me entertained, which is basically a miracle. The gameplay is simple and fast, kind of like a volleyball game on fast forward. One button to rule them all, and yet somehow there's enough skill to keep you hooked. Those super spikes, they feel like a mic drop at a karaoke contest, pure satisfaction, and the serves are tricky enough to make you feel like a pro, or at least like you're not totally embarrassing yourself. Matches themselves kick off at a tight 11-11 score, which means you're thrown right into the heart-pounding finish from the very first serve. No slow warm-up or endless rally building here, it's straight to the clutch moments where every spike, block, and dive counts. Now, you have to win by 2 points, so the tension ramps up quickly and every rally feels like sudden death over time. This design keeps the gameplay quick, intense, and perfect for the arcade sessions where nobody wants to wait forever to get their turn. This is simply a volleyball game served up in chunky pixels, but it totally captures the classic arcade spirit where you're furiously mashing buttons, yelling "Boom, baby!" in your face, and imagining you're the MVP of the pixelated court. So yeah, while I'm probably never going to join another volleyball team at my age, Touch and Go gave me enough laughs and button mashing fun to keep me coming back for more. It's the perfect game for when you want sports, but without all the boring bits. Thank you so much for watching another deep dive Evercade completion review. Please remember to give me a like, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you're feeling like the love is there, why not give this video a little volleyball spike and share it on your social media platforms? Because trying to build up subscribers to this channel meets my ultimate goal in just building awareness to how amazing Evercade actually is and what fantastic games are on it. Until next time, stay odd, stay awesome, and we'll see you next Friday for another Odd Socks video. See you later, guys.